Have you ever met someone and within 5 minutes your whole body knew, but your brain tricked you out of it? That weird flicker of energy that made your stomach tighten, your breath shortened, your instincts whispered, something's off, but then the charm hit. The warmth, the validation, the I've never met anybody like you. And suddenly the flicker got renamed chemistry. That is not chemistry, that is conditioning. Your nervous system recognizing a predator's pattern and mistaking it for home. The first rule of the Black Cat dating code is this. If your body and your brain starts negotiating, you are already in danger. Because women like us do not get fooled by men, we get fooled by familiarity. The tone of voice that sounds like safety because it mirrored our fathers. The mixed messages that feel like love because they echo our childhood. The push-pull that feels intoxicating because it keeps our adrenaline alive. You are not naive, you are neurologically programmed. And today, I'm going to show you how to spot that programming in real time so that nobody hijacks your intuition ever again. I'm Meaghan Webster, an abuse recovery coach, a trauma-informed strategist, and the woman a narcissist hopes to never meet twice. This is the Narcissist's Worst Nightmare podcast where survival ends, shadow becomes power, and you rise as the woman impossible to manipulate, magnetize, or replace. The most dangerous red flags are the ones that masquerade as connection. They do not come waving in your face, they come disguised as understanding. He mirrors your story, finishes your sentences, agrees with your boundaries so perfectly it feels like fate. That is not empathy, that is data collection. A manipulator studies you the way a hunter studies prey. Every vulnerability you reveal becomes ammunition for future control. And the early stage of manipulation is not love, it's mapping your psyche. They learn what makes you soften, what makes you prove, and what makes you doubt yourself. And the second they have that map, that's when the love bombing starts. The love bomb is not out of affection, it's about acceleration. They want you to get attached before you even have time to think, before your nervous system catches up to what your body already knows. So when you feel rushed, when someone is trying to collapse timelines, when they're calling you their soulmate 2 weeks in, that is not romance, that is regulation theft. They're using intensity to override your intuition. You'll call it butterflies, and your body will spike with cortisol. The Black Cat Code will teach you to translate that language, to know when your arousal is actually alarm. Because a woman who can read her body is a woman who cannot be manipulated. Do you ever notice how, after you feel that first sense of unease, that your mind jumps into silence? That's not being stupid, that's survival. Your brain learned early on that safety comes from harmony, not honesty. So instead of leaving when something feels wrong, you start explaining it away. He didn't mean that. He's just tired. I'm probably just projecting. That is self-gaslighting, the most insidious form of psychological sabotage. It's when you internalize somebody else's minimization so deeply that it becomes your own abuser. And it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It builds on years and years of being told your emotions were too much, your boundaries were too cold, your needs were too selfish. So when a man softly dismisses you, your body recognizes the pattern and your brain rushes to make it okay. Let's call it what it is. It's trauma disguised as tolerance. You are not calm. You are conditioned. You are not giving him grace. You are repeating the script. The Black Cat dating code demands brutal honesty with yourself because you cannot spot manipulation if you're still protecting the fantasy of being the cool girl. You can't catch a red flag if you're committed to proving you're healed enough to handle it. Discernment isn't cold, it's clarity. And clarity is the ultimate threat to control. Your body will always know before your brain. Long before you can explain what's wrong, your system is already broadcasting the alert. Your shoulders will feel tense, your jaw is locked, your breath will shorten. But because you were taught to prioritize politeness over protection, you override the alarm. And predators, narcissists, abusers, avoidance will rely on that. They don't just charm you, they entertain you. They mirror your rhythm, your breathing, your emotional pace until your nervous system starts syncing with theirs. That sync feels like connection, but it's actually control. When somebody's energy hits your body and you feel an instant flood, that is not chemistry. That is a nervous system hijack. It's the same adrenaline that used to spike when you were a kid walking on eggshells. Familiar does not mean safe. It means practice. When your body flinches, but your mind rationalizes, your body is always right. Your body has no agenda, no fantasy to maintain, no story to protect. It is pure data, the most accurate lie detector you will ever own. You can ask yourself questions mid-conversation. Do I feel grounded or dizzy? Am I fully breathing or is it shallow? Does my stomach relax or twist? Do I feel calm or on edge? If your body is whispering no and your brain is busy rewriting yes, you already have your answer. That is discernment in motion, hearing the whisper before it becomes a scream. My first trip to New Brunswick, new city, new air, that big rush of possibility that hits when you think you've closed one life and opened another. He met me at the airport, smiling, arms wide, like a scene out of a version of love that I used to chase. The whole drive, he talked really fast. Plans, futures, what we could build. And I remember thinking, this feels like he is too certain for someone who doesn't know me yet. This was our first time meeting in person. By the time we got back to his place, he showed me around, including the guest bedroom. He said I was welcome to sleep in to feel comfortable. Something between there and his bedroom, the script had shifted. The energy in the room was really thick, compliments wrapped in entitlement. He leaned in really close and expressed like how long he had wanted this for, and every nerve in my body went really rigid. I wasn't afraid, but it was a recognition of a rhythm that I swore I would never be part of again. The pacing, the pressure, the subtle suggestion that a no would ruin the night. My body braced, my shoulders were tight. I could literally hear my heartbeat in my ears while my mind scrambled to make something sound polite. But something inside of me snapped. I don't owe softness to someone who mistakes access for intimacy. I got out of bed. I said something simple like I needed to sleep alone tonight. He laughed, rolled his eyes, like grabbed my hand, tried to make it a joke. And in my head, I kept thinking, I really do not want to betray how I feel right now. And that's the thing about men who use intensity as currency. They cannot stand it when something stops them from having control. He was visibly not happy, a very sharp goodnight, and like turned over in the bed and I walked out of the room. I felt like I had done something wrong, which logically I knew that I hadn't. Discernment isn't mental, it's muscular. It lives in your spine, your gut, your tone of voice. It's the way that you breathe when you speak boundaries. And every time you override yourself, your body files it as proof that your truth isn't safe. Every time you honor that first twinge of discomfort, your body relaxes and it learns that you will protect it now. This is how sovereignty is built, repetition by repetition, boundary by boundary. It's practice in micro movements. When someone texts you and your stomach drops, don't respond from anxiety. Pause, wait until your breath is steady again. When a date feels off but you can't explain why, do not seek validation, seek stillness, because that is where your intuition actually shares from. Your body is a safe space when you stop treating it like an inconvenience. You want to not be able to be manipulated, get intimate with your sensations. The black cat edge is the woman who doesn't need proof because she trusts the pulse beneath her skin. Because your body will never lie to you. It speaks in contradictions and releases, in breath and pressure, in every small change that you've learned how to ignore. It tenses before your mind frames a thought, and the tension is the truth. It's the first layer of the black cat code, listening to the language that's underneath your logic. Predators depend on your disconnection from that language. They don't come at you with obvious danger. They arrive wrapped in the exact rhythm that once made you feel safe. They study how you exhale, how you tilt your head, how your tone softens when you're understood. Then they mirror it until your body believes it's met itself. Every red flag lives inside the somatic mismatch, the place where something looks right but feels wrong. And your nervous system will be the first to catch it. Your brain lags behind, searching for the proof of. When you start to feel that pull, that spark, that dizzy rush, pause. Ask yourself, is this connection or is this chemistry trying to cover confusion? If your breath shortens, if your chest closes, if your stomach twists and your mouth smiles, you already have your answer. That's not romance. That's your body remembering danger and mistaking it for desire. I want to decode what this danger actually looks like in red flags that will not come across as red flags in the beginning, but things that I wanted to share for you to pay attention to. Pace manipulation. They rush intimacy so you never find your footing. I just know what I want. Why wait when it feels so right? Your mind will call it passion, but your body will start to panic. Healthy love can breathe. If it can't, it is lust, not love. Boundary mirroring. Every boundary you name is instantly honored in words, but never tested in action. They are taking notes, not respecting limits. The mirror will feel flattering until you realize it's only you reflecting back. Selective vulnerability. Every trauma confession hooks your empathy. You lean into comfort to prove that you're safe. That is not intimacy, that is recruitment. True vulnerability grows with consistency, not a confession. Micro discrediting, tiny dismissals. You're reading into it. You're too sensitive. They teach you to question your own perception until you abandon it entirely. Every single time you let it slide, your intuition gets quieter. Identity fast forwarding. We're a team. You're the one. You're my person very early on. They're manufacturing a future so you don't evaluate the present. It's not destiny. It's enclosure disguised as devotion. Reverse empathy. I'm broken. I told you I'm damaged. Awareness without accountability is manipulation. They confess so you'll excuse. Believe the statement, not the potential. Withholding warmth. Hot, cold, hot again. The inconsistency keeps you chasing the original high. It's the same chemical loop that fuels every addiction. Stability will feel boring when you mistaken chaos for love. Projection hooks, they will accuse you of what they are doing. You've been distant, you're hiding something. You start defending yourself instead of observing them. Projection is bait. Don't take it. Performative respect. I love strong women until you're strong to them. The statement is not admiration. It's a challenge waiting for you to fall for it. Energy inflation, everything's cinematic. Eyes locked for too long, words too grand. You feel lightheaded, not lifted. That's adrenaline disguised as awe, the drug of false connection. Boundary amnesia, they forgot limits that inconvenience them. It's a rehearsal for future violations of your boundaries. You do not remind them. You remove them. Triangulation, or the crazy ex narrative. Every ex is unstable. They script you as the good one. It's not a compliment, it's foreshadowing, and soon you'll be next in the crazy ex story. Faux accountability. I'm sorry you feel that way. Gifts instead of growth. Apologies without repair are emotional tranquilizers. Watch for the action, the behavior, and the pattern, not sentimental words. Spiritual bypass, astrology, therapy talk, trauma lingo, all perfectly recited, never embodied. That is not healing. That is hiding. Insights that don't transform is manipulation in spiritual clothing. Moving goalposts. You meet the standard and they raise it. And that's control through fatigue. Healthy love does not make you addition. Gift weaponization. Big gestures that later become receipts. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't do this. Real generosity gives freedom, not debt. Status siphoning. They love your shine until it overshadows them. Then admiration turns to critique. Your partner shares your light. A parasite drains it. Covert competition, sarcasms that cut, compliments with teeth, a little back and forth here and there that shrink your peace, and that's how they win. If you have to dim your light to stay loved, you're already lost. One of my mom's favorite sayings is, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. I want to be very clear here. Not everyone is a narcissist, an avoidant, or an asshole. There are ways that we use our discernment that is not suspicion. It's truth recognition. It's the union between intuition and regulation. When your nervous system is calm enough to let your instincts speak. But when you're dysregulated, everything familiar feels safe, even pain. But when you're grounded, you can sense the difference between excitement and escalation. Manipulation doesn't spike your heart rate. Integrity slows it down. Love does not rush anything. It actually roots. Discernment is also not something that's built in the mind, it's practiced in the body. Each pause before replying, each deep breath before a yes, it starts to rewire your trust inward. That's the repetition work of sovereignty. You teach your body that stillness is safe again, that presence is the predator's poison. They can mimic confidence but never calm. When you are still, their chaos has nowhere to land. That is the essence of the Black Cat Code, silence that sees. I had a client come to me. She was brilliant, successful, emotionally aware, the kind of woman who had done all of the healing work. It could recite every single red flag in the book. But every man she met still felt like a variation of the same story. Charming, intense, unavailable in the exact way that kept her chasing. They said the right things, offered her just enough intimacy to keep her hooked, and then pulled back the second that she relaxed. She kept asking, why do I attract the same kind of man? And what I had shared with her was, you don't attract them. Your nervous system recognizes them, and the electricity that you think is connection is your adrenaline. It's the high that your body associates with love because it's what it was trained to survive. She felt like every day was like a movie montage when it was really her nervous system in fight or flight, mistaking chaos for chemistry. But then she had a breakthrough point. She met someone different. They were calm, consistent, gentle, and kind. And instead of feeling drawn in, she felt quite bored. Her nervous system was not lighting up, and she almost walked away. But when we talked about it, I told her that boredom is not the lack of connection. It's actually the absence of danger that she recognizes as love. I remember her taking this like really long breath. And she said for the first time in her dating life, it felt like she was maybe not running towards a high, that she was able to regulate herself, even though it felt uncomfortable. Within the next couple of weeks, something had shifted. She said that she didn't feel the same way about the silence. She learned the power of pause and started using her body as a filter. It helped choose who she let close, who she trusted, and what she called love. That is what happens when a woman learns to pause before she pours out energy, love, and attraction to somebody else. She stopped chasing adrenaline and was only meeting with men who fit a different standard of what love looked like for her. Discernment and boundaries are like sisters. One detects and the other one decides, and together they make you untouchable. You began this episode remembering the moment your gut whispered and your mind argued, but now you know you don't need to decode anyone else anymore. You can read your own energy, that your body is the best red flag detector. Your silence is a boundary, and your peace is your power. This is what discernment will do. It turns survival into sovereignty. It happens when the girl who justified everything becomes the woman who explains nothing. The next time someone wants to play the game, remember this. Your energy is a warning label. Your calm is the consequence, and your intuition is the power they will never see coming. If this episode cracks something open in you, good. That means you're not just listening, you are evolving. Share this with another woman who needs it. Hit follow so you don't miss the next one. Send me a DM on Instagram and tell me what landed the hardest for you. And I know you are ready to do the deep work. Master your discernment, set the standard, and date from your dark feminine power. Join us inside of the Black Cat Academy. The link below is to join. This is the Narcissist Worst Nightmare podcast. And remember, not all red flags look like flags. Trust your gut. She knows best.